Good morning to all of you. Today we are going to see the basic or the introduction to finite element analysis. So before starting the introduction of the finite element analysis, we will see this concept of the finite element analysis with the small example of the geometry. Let's consider this is the geometry, which is some shape of this plate is there, and there is a green color square hole in this plate is there, and it has been asked to calculate the area of this geometry. So how we can calculate the geometry of this particular geometry? So let's see where can you can see this. This geometry has three different kind of sub-geometries. That is the area one, that is the blue square. This one is the blue square. Then area two, that is a green color square hole inside this plate. Area three is the semicircle sub-geometry is there. So this complete breaking of this geometry into the sub-geometry is called a discretization. Now, in order to calculate the area of this total plate, what we require to do, we have to divide the geometry into the three elements or the three sub-geometries. That is the element number one, area one, which has length L and breadth B. Then area two, that is square hole, which has again length L and B. And there's the third geometry, sub-geometry, area 3, which is a semicircle with the radius r. So what is the area of the first geometry, sub-geometry? That is area 1, that is the length into breadth. Area of second sub-geometry, that is a square hole, that is the length into breadth. And area of the third sub-geometry, that is the element number 3, that is the 1/2 of pi r square. So this is the calculation of each sub-geometry or each element of this complete geometry. So in order to calculate now the total area of the geometry, what we require to do, we need to do the addition and subtraction. That is the analysis of the complete geometry. So in order to calculate the total area, we have to do the addition and subtraction of three sub-geometry, area 1, area 2 or area 3. So area 1 minus area 2 plus area 3, which will give the total area of this complete geometry. So what this process is all about? So this is nothing but the, as far as we know that this complete geometry has a finite number of sub-geometries or sub-elements. That is three sub-geometries are there, or we can say in finite element language, three elements are there. So three elements, they have to individually we have calculate the area of the each element or each sub-geometry, that is area 1, area 2 and area 3. So we have analyzed or we have formulated the each element. And finally, in order to calculate the total area of the geometry, we have to do the subtraction or addition to get the total area of the geometry. This process is nothing but finite number of elements. Then we have calculated the equation of each element. Then we have added the assembly of the each element in order to get the total area of the geometry. And this process is called as a finite element analysis. So this is the basic concept of the finite element analysis, in which uh, any engineering, especially the mechanical engineering problem, such as strength of material, heat transfer problem, fluid mechanics problem. In order to solve this by finite element methods, we have to divide that complete problem into the sub elements, and then we have to solve the each element of that problem, and then we have to do the assembly or the analyze uh, the total problem by assembling the each individual element. So I have to get the complete solution of the problem. This is the finite element analysis. This is the basic concept of the subject. Now let's see the what is the definition of this finite element method or the finite element analysis. So finite element method is a numerical method to solve the differential and integral equations, since the behavior of almost all physical systems can be represented by these equations. Now finite element method is known as a numerical method. As far as you know that you must have learned the numerical method in your second year or third year of engineering. The numerical method is all about what? It is a solving this problem in order to get the approximate solution. There are two kind of the solution in maths or the in engineering. That is the one is approximate solution and second is the exact solution. What is the difference between approximate solution and exact solution? So in exact solution, we will get the exact results such as suppose we have to calculate some x, y variables, and we will get the answer as x equal to 10 or y equal to 20 like that. But in numerical method, if we are solving the any problem, we will get the approximate solution, just like 9.92, 9.94, 9.96. That is a it is near to the exact solution. That is a 10. Exact answer of the exact solution if it is a 10, and we will get it in the numerical method as an approximate solution, that is 9.92, 9.94, 9.96. So the difference between exact solution and the approximate solution, that is called as an error or the residual in terms of the finite element analysis. So always a numerical method gives approximate solution, that is a solution which is near to the exact solution, but it is not the exact solution. Right. So in numerical method, we have done the three, four iteration. In each iteration, we are going to close to the result. That is, iteration number one shows the 9.92. Iteration number two shows the 9.94. Iteration number three shows 9.96. That means we are going approximately near to the exact solution. This is the numerical method. Now, finite element method, it is also a approximation method or numerical method in order to solve the differential and integral equation. Now, why we are considering differential and integral equation? Because in mechanical engineering problem, many problems are represented by differential or the integral equation. For example, spring mass damper example, we can represent this spring mass system by differential equation, that is m dt x by dt square plus b dx by dt plus cx equal to some c. Right. So this term has the differential terms in this equation, and this dx by dt square shows the acceleration, dx by dt shows the velocity, x shows the displacement. So this complete behavior of the spring mass damper system is shown by the differential equation. So in order to solve these mechanical problems, we require to use this approximation or the numerical method in order to solve differential or integral equation. Since this mechanical or these physical problems or physical system, the behavior of this almost all physical system in this mechanical problem are represented by the differential and the integral equation. So nowadays there are different kind of popular finite element analysis software packages are available, such as ANSYS, Abacus, NASTAN, StarPro, GTStudent, or the NISA, which are used to solve these complex or the mechanical engineering problems using the software, which makes the which saves the time and the cost of the analysis. Using these packages, we can analyze the several complex structures. Now, why we require to use this finite element method? Because in order to we have solved many simple problems in strength of material, machine design, heat transfer, or the thermodynamics, fluid mechanics. We have used the different kind of formulas, but they are restricted to very simple problems in books. But when it comes to the solving the industrial problems or some complex geometry, irregular geometry, we require to do lots of calculation. So in this doing the lots of calculation, there are chances to having the error in the solution, or lots of calculation are required. Complex equations are there. So it is not possible to solve this by classical or the regular method using the different formulas. So in such cases, we required a method that is called a finite element analysis method to solve this irregular geometry problem, complex problem, or large shape problems. Hence, we are using this finite element method. So different kind of problems in mechanical engineering, in industries or in society, we know that there are force displacement problems, static dynamic problems are there. That means force displacement analysis, when we consider there is a no motion of the body, it is called as a static problem. When we consider the force displacement problem when the body is in motion, they are called as a dynamic problem. In heat transfer thermal analysis, we have calculated the temperature analysis or heat flow, amount of heat flow across the wall, such kind of problem they are dealing with the heat transfer and thermal analysis. Then fluid mechanics problem, amount of the fluid or the pressure of the fluid, quantity of the fluid flowing through the channels. They are considered the fluid mechanics problem. You have vibration analysis, we have to consider the problem belonging to the frequency analysis or model analysis of structure, beams or bridges or the building structure. They are considered as the vibration analysis. In machine design, we have solved the different problems like the gear design, calculation of gear, shaft, the problems we are dealing in a machine design. Then machine mechanics, that the theory of machine, we have seen the different kind of the mechanism problems. Then material behavior, material elasticity calculation, then Young's modulus, such kind of the problems we are seeing in the material science also. So all these problems belong to the mechanical engineering. But when we are solving this problem, and if they are not simple, they are complex, the geometry is complex. So such kind of the complex problems in these different kind of the modules, they are required to solve by the finite element analysis problems. What are the advantages of this finite element method? It is very difficult to predict the efficiency of product before the manufacturing. This finite element method can be used to predict behavior of product. Now in industry, one has to manufacture a product, but it is essential to know the working efficiency of the particular manufactured product to estimate the working efficiency. But it is not possible without manufacturing the exact product. Hence, a manufacturing of the product and then predicting its working efficiency, it is a time-consuming process, or it is not affordable process. So, in order to predict the working efficiency of any product or the any product that has to be manufactured, uh, we need to do the virtual product manufacture that use the virtual modeling and analysis of that product. So this can be done in the finite element method using different software packages. It is one of the advantages of this method. Then time and cost involved in predicting efficiency of actual product. When you are going to manufacture a product, and after the manufacturing, if you are going to predict the efficiency, working efficiency of that product, it requires time and cost involved in it. It is not economical to calculate or predict the efficiency after the product manufacture. So we need the finite element analysis, that in short FEA, that can be used to study the product working efficiency by virtual modeling, such as we have modeled 2D or 3D geometry in CATIA Pro E, and after modeling we have analyzed in softwares like ANSYS, Master and Abacus. So this is the virtual modeling. That is we do not require actual manufacturing, but this is a virtual product modeling which represent a prototype of the actual product. After that prototype is modeled and analyzed, we can predict the working efficiency in this software. We save the time and the cost of the process. In earlier method, classical method of solving problem involved time-consuming calculation of complex problems. As I have already discussed, that there are lots of formulas and they are liquid which are not suitable to solve the large geometry problem or the complex geometry problem. Hence, when there is a complex problem or large size of problem there may be less accuracy. So we have to use this some method which is a time consuming, which is not a time consuming, which has the good accuracy. To finite element analysis plays an important role to save the time and increase the accuracy of the solution. Then more advantages such as modeling of complex geometry and irregular shapes are easier in finite element software packages. Variety of finite elements are available for discretization of the geometry. Then one more condition is that boundary condition can be easily applied in the finite element analysis. What are boundary condition means? Now consider there is a one being fixed at one end and force is applied at the other end. Now in this problem, there are two conditions are given. So one condition is about the beam is fixed at one end. This is boundary condition one. Then force is applied at the free end. This is boundary condition two. That is the condition which are imposed on the problem. They are called as the boundary condition. So these applying this boundary condition is not we can it is not easy to apply this boundary condition while we are solving the problem in a classical way or classical method. Since it can be easily incorporated in a finite element packages and they can be solved easily in the software finite element packages. Different types of materials can be easily accommodated in modeling element to element or even within an element in finite element. Now many problems which have the different kind of material, more than combination of more than one material, such as aluminum, copper, then brass, such as steel. So combination of these material and then solving or predicting behavior of this material, which was very difficult in classical method. Hence, this can be done easily in the software finite element software packages. Then a higher order element. Now behavior of the material, they are given by some equation. The order of equation or the behavior of the material or the problem may be a linear or non-linear. Many times linear problems are simple, they can be solved by easily, but the non-linear problem they cannot be solved easily. Hence or they are having the higher order, that is the quadratic or the cubic equation, more than cubic, fourth order, fifth order, and is the order of the equation of the behavior of the material is higher. So in order to solve this higher order element equations, we require the finite element analysis, which can be easily solved this higher order element or the geometries. A finite element is a simple, compact, accuracy result oriented, and is widely popular among the engineering community and different industries application. Availability of large number of softwares are there in market. They can be used for research purposes in the research institute or organization, which use the different kind of software which are versatile and very powerful in different methods are there. So these are the advantages of finite element method. Of course, there may be some disadvantage of this method also. Some disadvantage of this finite element are the now this as this software is required of high configuration computer or laptop is required, which generate a large amount of data. The bulk amount of data is required as input for modeling or the machine used in terms of nodal connectivity or element formulation, other parameters depending upon the problem. So this is the basic problem. Large amount of data will be gathered in the storage of the computer, and which makes the time consumption while solving the problem. The solution obtained by five finite element are the approximate, and it is not exactly as I have previously discussed that the approximate solution gives the near to the solution, that is near to the exact solution, but it is not the exact solution. Hence, approximate behavior of problem we can predict in finite element analysis, but not the exact behavior that we cannot predict in the finite element analysis, and it involves the error or the residual. The difference between the exact solution and the approximate solution is called as a error or the residual, and it deals with the problem and in solution which affects on the accuracy of solution. When we are considering the error residual in each element, by combining all element, it will affect on the accuracy of total problem. It requires a longer execution time as compared to the FEM. That means it requires a longer execution when the geometry is large, then complex geometry is there. Then in that case, longer execution time will be required, and output of the result or output result will vary because of this execution time. So these are the disadvantages of finite element method. Now let's see the history how the finite element method was developed. So earlier in the 1800, John William Studd Relics, better known as Lord Rayleigh, he has developed a method of predicting the first natural frequency of simple structure. That is a model analysis of structure, and that method is not exactly a finite element method, but it is the base or foundation for the finite element method. And this method is popularly known as the Rayleigh-Ritz method. So before invention of numerical method or the finite element method, uh, John Williams Rayleigh have developed this method for calculating the natural frequency of simple structure. By the 1940s, numerical method have been developed. Numerical method have been developed to predict the behavior of more general structures for the frames and stresses or the simple structures. This is developed by Renkov and later utilized the energy method from the Alberto Castiglione and William Ron Hamilton. In 1914, numerical methods have been developed. The next significant step was taken by the Boeing. Boeing is the aircraft manufacturing industry. Uh, they are required to analyze their aircraft or the aircraft wings in the aerodynamic condition. When the aircraft or aircraft wings are in the in the sky, they are facing the aerodynamic conditions. So this industry faces the need of the such a method. Hence, they have started using such kind of method, and but they have not termed this method as a finite element method, but they have used this triangular stress element to calculate the how to create the behavior of the aeroplane. So in 1960, Dr. Ray Claw, it is Dr. Ray Claw coined this term or this particular method as a finite element. So in this 1960, true beginning of commercial finite element analysis as a digital computers are replaced with a programming analog ones with a capability of thousand of operation per second. So this thousand line of progress can be done in finite element analysis. So Dr. Ray Claw have termed this process as a finite element analysis. In early 1960, a small analog computer manufacturer for the aerospace industry. Then there is a need for the satellite launching by the NASA. That is the aerospace application. They require this finite element analysis for purpose of the analysis of the rocket structures or the satellite structures in the when it is when they have to launch it in the sky. So NASA have developed this more general purpose finite element analysis method. In 1980s, development in graphics processing, higher configuration computers have started to developing from the 1980s on your finite element analysis, graphical pre-processing, post-processing methods have been developed available, and engineers could examine color trace counters, that is the red, green, blue colors. We have seen that. We have to see this in the further slides instead of studying the tabular. Earlier methods have given the result tabular result forms, but the graphical result they have developed during 1980s. Graphic representative of this analysis of the finite element. Thanks to this advanced design, so from this era, this design engineers in different industries they have started to use this method, incorporating this finite element into the very general product. And now many industries in small scale industries also they are utilizing this modeling analysis software. In 1990, the personal computers platforms become a major force in high. From 1990, a large amount of the computers and high advanced computing technologies have been developed. Models with 1 million degree of freedom were begin to run on their side. Supercomputers are available, capable of running 1 trillion of operation per second. So these supercomputers are required to solve the complex problems where one has to deal with the large number of the amount of the data. What is the difference between this finite element method and the classical method? So in classical method, exact equation are formed and the exact solution are obtained, whereas in finite element analysis, exact equations are formed but approximate solution are obtained. This we have discussed. Solutions have been obtained for few standard cases by classical methods, whereas solution can be obtained for all kind of the problems. So such kind of the large shape problem, irregular shape problem, complex problem, variety of material problems, or different application problems can be solved by the finite element analysis. Whenever we following complexity are faced, classical methods makes the drastic assumption and looks for the solution. When there is a irregular shape, complex shape, boundary condition, different boundary conditions are there, or different kind of the loads, force, torque, like that. So when these terms are considered, classical method fails to solve the problem. To get the solution in the above cases, the rectangular shape, same boundary condition along the side, and regular loads are to be assumed. So simple assumption can be made in the classical method, but the assumption for shape, boundary condition, loading, they cannot be considered in the classical method. In FEM, no such assumptions are required. The problem is treated as it is. So there is no need to do the assumption in finite element methods. We can solve the problems or whatever it is a complex or problem, any kind of shape, any kind of boundary shape are there. We can solve it is in a finite element analysis. When material properties is not isotropic, solution for the problem become very difficult in classical method. Isotropic is the property in which the material behaves in the similar way in all direction. That is, means the material properties are the same in all the x, y, z direction. They are called as isotropic material. They are simple properties. Only few simple cases can be studied by the researchers. Finite element method can handle structures with anisotropic material as well. Nice. Finite element method can solve the isotropic problem as well as the anisotropic method, in which the material properties are not same in all the direction. Without any difficulty, it can be solved in finite element analysis. If structure consists of more than one material, it is difficult to use classical method that I earlier have discussed. There are combination of different materials is there, or there is composite material is there. Then classical method is not suitable to solve that problem. But in finite element problem, finite element analysis, we can easily solve this without any difficulty. Problems with material and geometry with non-related can be handled by classical method. There is no difficulty in the finite element. That is a we can solve the uh, higher order geometries. The cubic or fourth order, fifth order, higher order elements can be solved in the finite element method. So these are the real world application of finite element analysis. That we have talked earlier that this color counter that has been developed in 1990. So they can be used for variety of industrial or the social application. So first is gear analysis. We know this gearbox combination. There is a different kind of gears are there. When gears are transmitting the power or the transmitting the torque, they undergo the wear and there are chances of failure as well. So this particular analysis can be done in the finite element analysis. It shows the different kind of the color counters where the red color shows the higher rate of the failure, where the blue is considered to be a safe region. So such kind of analysis can be done with a different kind of the boundary condition, different kind of loadings are there, or different kind of material is there. Then second example is a turbine analysis. Turbine is used for the power generation in different kind of power plant, gas power plant, thermal power plant, or the water power plant. So it goes under the critical situation or critical loadings are there. So in that case, how the turbine will sustain the load, that can be predicted by this finite element analysis. There is a color counters which shows the intensity of the pressure or the intensity of the displacement or the distortion. Similarly, connecting rod example is there, which is used in combustion engines of the vehicles. It goes the thermal distortion or the thermal loads along with the force or the loads. That can be also predicted using finite element. Then aircraft or the aerodynamic analysis that we have already talked. It is going ahead of the aircraft analysis for to analyze the aerodynamic analysis of the aircraft or aircraft wings. This shows the particular aeroplane which is under the aerodynamic analysis, which shows the different color counters and the intensity of deformation or the pressure. Then it can be used in biomedical applications such for the human bone analysis, such that fracture of the bones or the how that bone assembly inside the hand can behave under the critical condition or where the failure has been occurred. That can be analyzed using this finite element analysis. Then for different kind of the civil application or road application, bridges, then roof structures, we can one can analyze the deformation or the displacement behavior of the roof structure or the bridge structure. So it is very helpful to predict the behavior of the different structures for the civil application. Then there is a pump, centrifugal pump, compressors. They can be used to predict the fluid flow or the fluid mechanics, the pressure of the fluid or the velocity of fluid or quantity of fluid, or because of this pressure fluid, how the different parts of the compressor or the pumps can be go under deformation. That can be used for the this pump analysis. So these are the different kinds of application of the finite element analysis. So this is all about the finite element analysis application and the introduction. Hope you understand the concept of this subject and application of this analysis. So further we can see the details of the finite element analysis in next lectures. For this, thank you and hope you understand. If you have any problems, you can ask in my comments. We can solve this. Thank you.